So we've made a lot of pasta dishes here on Spain on a Fork. And let me tell you, the one we're making today sits right up there with the best of them because it is so easy to make, it's very healthy for you, and it's all done in just 30 minutes. We're talking a creamy tuna and spinach pasta. Now the beauty of this recipe, besides the fact that it's made with very simple ingredients, is that it's a one-pan pasta dish, meaning we're going to cook the pasta in the same pan as the rest of the ingredients. That way the starch from the pasta can stay in the dish, which gives it the most incredible textures and flavors. And for the creaminess, we're using Greek yogurt instead of heavy cream, which makes this dish so much more nutritious, folks. This is what healthy and delicious food is all about, and the kind of meal that's going to fill you with so much goodness. This video is sponsored by Tienda.com. You know that Tienda is an online superstore focusing on selling all things Spain for your home and kitchen, and they've been around since 1996. And like I always tell you, they have the biggest selection of authentic Spanish ingredients like artisan Spanish cheeses, the famous jamón serrano and jamón ibérico, Marcona almonds, olives, the beautiful canned seafood from Spain, and all the spices you need to make your favorite Spanish recipes, among so many other ingredients. And let me tell you, when it comes to cookware, they have a huge selection of authentic Spanish paella pans that range in size from 2 servings all the way up to 50 servings, and they even offer classic grilling systems. That way you can always perfectly cook your paella. Folks, visit Tienda.com, let them know Albert from Spain on a Fork sent you there, and make sure you use coupon code on a Fork during checkout for 10% off your order. Let's begin by grabbing 2 cans of tuna in olive oil and draining them into a fine sieve with a bowl underneath. And we'll flake the tuna to remove any of the excess olive oil. Now the size of the cans that I'm using are 4 ounces each, which is about 110 grams each. And as for that reserved olive oil from the canned tuna, you don't want to discard it as we're going to be using it in this recipe. Then we'll finely chop 1 small onion, roughly chop 6 cloves of garlic, and we'll grab 175 grams of fresh spinach, which is about 6 ounces, and roughly chop it. The fresh spinach that I'm using is bagged, so it's already pre-cleaned. However, to make this recipe, you can also use frozen spinach. Just make sure you fully thaw it out and pat it completely dry. For the next step, I'm going to grab a large fry pan and heat it with a medium heat. After a couple minutes, and the pan is nice and hot, I'm going to add in the olive oil from the canned tuna, and we'll immediately add in the chopped onion and garlic. And we'll mix the garlic and onion around, that way they're coated in that olive oil, and we're going to go for about 3 to 4 minutes here, or until the ingredients are lightly sauteed. After about 4 minutes, and the onion and garlic are lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, which is about 1 gram, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, which once again is about 1 gram, and half a teaspoon of dried thyme, which is half a gram. And we'll give it a quick mix, that way the herbs are evenly coating all the garlic and onion. And let me tell you, by adding in the dried herbs right now, it's going to make them super fragrant. Then we'll add in a 14.5 ounce can of diced tomatoes, which is 410 grams. And we'll season with sea salt, freshly cracked black pepper, and a dash of white sugar to cut the acid from the canned tomatoes. Then we'll turn up the heat to a high heat, and we'll give it a quick mix. That way everything's evenly mixed together, and then simmer it for a couple minutes. After about 3 minutes, and the canned tomatoes have slightly thickened up, I'm going to add in 2.5 cups of vegetable broth, which is 540 milliliters. Of course, you can also use water here, but let me tell you, by using the broth is what gives this pasta dish that beautiful lift of flavors. And we'll give it a mix and bring the broth to a boil. Once the broth comes to a boil, it's time to add in the pasta. I'm going to be using penne pasta, but you can use whatever pasta you like. I'm going to measure out 2¼ cups, which is 8 ounces or 225 grams, and add the pasta into the pan. And you don't have to mix this continuously, but do get in there every 1 to 2 minutes. That way the pasta doesn't stick together and it all evenly cooks. After about 8 to 9 minutes, and you can see the majority of the broth has been absorbed by the pasta, but there's still some broth left. I'm gonna add in the chopped spinach into the pan, and you don't have to mix it in there, you just add it over the pasta. Then we'll place the lid on the pan and lower the fire to a low medium heat, and we're gonna simmer this for another 2 to 3 minutes. This is enough time for that spinach to be fully wilted and for the pasta to be perfectly cooked al dente. After about 3 minutes, I'm going to remove the pan from the heat. We'll add in the drained tuna. And we'll give it a quick mix. That way everything's evenly mixed together, and then let it sit here for a couple minutes. That way it can slightly cool off. Once the pasta has slightly cooled off, I'm going to add in a generous half cup of plain Greek yogurt at room temperature, which is 175 grams. I'm using low-fat Greek yogurt, but you can also use full-fat or non-fat. The most important thing, once again, make sure it's at room temperature, otherwise it can easily curdle. And we'll season the yogurt generously with freshly cracked black pepper. Like I always tell you, that black pepper brings out an incredible flavor in the Greek yogurt. And we'll give it one final mix until everything's well mixed together. And check it out, folks, our creamy tuna and spinach pasta is done. Super easy to make, the simplest ingredients, and the best part, we did it all using just one pan. Let's give it a try and see how it turned out. I'm telling you, there is nothing better than a one-pan pasta dish, because once again, when you cook it on the same pan, the starch from the pasta stays in there, giving it such a beautiful texture and flavor. So this is a dish I cannot wait to try, and also considering how much I love pasta. Big boy bite. Here we go. That right there is absolutely gorgeous. Hard to believe. So many great flavors with such simple ingredients. And I'm telling you, that Greek yogurt adds such a beautiful creaminess in there. The healthy kick from the spinach, the protein from the tuna, and then the penne pasta, beautifully cooked al dente with absolutely no mush. Folks, serve this pasta dish next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine. You're gonna have yourself one of the best meals ever. Real quick before I go, shout out to a couple of my patrons, Dr. Michael Barvitz, Michael and Kelly Thompson, and Terry K. Clean. And guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, as it really helps out the channel. Leave me a comment below. And as always, don't forget to share this video with your family and friends. That way our Spain on a Fork community can continue to grow. Till the next time, hasta luego.